Do you like a good red velvet cake? I do. I like one made from scratch. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is here at Home with Miss Joan today. Let's get started. Alright, I start out with 2½ cups of sifted cake flour. That is what I call plain flour, but this is what my mama used, special Swann's down cake flour. And that's what I always have to have for this cake. And I've already put 2 cups of flour in here because even though it's sifted, it says 27 times finer. She sifted hers, so I have to sift mine. There's 2 cups, so I still need another ½ of a cup to get my flour in the sifter. I put all my dry ingredients in here, so after that comes my teaspoon of soda, which there's the kind of soda that I buy. I just keep it in a little spice jar. Okay, and then there's a teaspoon of cocoa. Just regular old Hershey's cocoa. There it goes in. I sift all that together. Okay, so I've done my flour, my soda, my cocoa, and I'm going to put, real quick, just run it through this sifter. If you don't have a sifter, look at here, you can run it through a strainer. You do the same thing, girls. Don't get afraid. All right. There's my dry ingredients. I'll hook it on here. I will have to tell you this little story about my mixer though. When a preacher and I retired from full time at the church, that summer the doorbell rang and it was a delivery guy. I opened up the box and here was a red KitchenAid mixer. I got online, tried to find out who gave it to me, or I thought it was an error and I didn't order it. My credit card was messed up and everything, but it wasn't. When I finally got a hold of them, they said an anonymous person wanted me to have this mixer. I have never got over that shockingly surprise. I'm so thankful, and I would bake them a cake if I knew who it was. But anyway, that's my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to add my sugar. And it calls for 1½ cups. This is a ½ a cup, so I say a half, a whole, a half. I don't switch cups back and forth. All right, 1½ cups of sugar, and then I'm going to add my buttermilk. Thought I had lost my beaters after a minute. You can use it. There's several different beaters that come with this. I'm just going to whip it up with this today. All right, I've already measured out. Cup of buttermilk. Don't make it with nothing but buttermilk. I have tried regular milk. It's not as good, the consistency. 1½ cups of oil. Now I'm picky. You notice I buy the generic vegetable oils, but this says cakes only. That means to remind me that's all I use in my cakes is the Wesson oil. And it calls for 1½ cups. So I've done it so long I can tell what's a ½ cup. All right. Here we go. Flour, sugar, soda, cocoa, buttermilk, vegetable oil, and a teaspoon of vinegar. Just regular old white vinegar. There it is. And 2 eggs. I will never forget the first time I ever had one of these cakes. I was in the 4th grade operetta, and our yard flooded. We had a creek in front of our house and a bridge, and it flooded. And Mother had took off from work to go with me to the operetta, and she couldn't leave the house because it was flooding. The water looked like it's going to come up in the house. My 4th grade teacher came after me, and I was supposed to have to spend the night with her if the water was over the bridge when we came home. I prayed the entire operetta, oh Lord, please let me be able to go home tonight and sleep at home. I was so afraid to spend the night with my teacher. And sure enough, when the operetta was over and we got home, he went over the bridge, water really, really high. I was afraid he wasn't going to go all the way. But I got out of that car and I ran in that back door to see my mama. I was so proud that I got to come back home after the big play that she didn't get to attend. She had my first ever red velvet cake sitting on the table. It was still warm, and she served me a piece with a glass of milk. That's the best bite of cake I've ever had in my entire life. But anyway, after the 2 eggs, we're going to slowly, and I mean slowly, get all over the kitchen, add a bottle of red food coloring. This is it right here. It comes in a little 1-ounce bottle. And this is the bestiest part of this cake. Y'all know I'm going to be throwing everything in the sack here. Alrighty. Trying to go. Alrighty. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. to this day, I don't know if I've ever measured vanilla. See, if it's a teaspoon, it gets a cupful. There we go. And I am thankful for my mixer. Whoever sent it to me was a lesson from the good Lord. I know that. Have I got everything, camera lady? Cake flour, sugar, soda, cocoa, buttermilk, Wesson oil is what I call it, vinegar, eggs, red coloring, vanilla flavoring. Okay, we're going to just stir it up here. Don't take long at all. And pull it down. If you want to look in here, this is it. You know how these mixing bowls are. Sometimes it's a little stuck in the bottom. All right. To me, I don't know if the people watching, making a lot of scratch cakes, know that some of them just spray their pans with this. I do sometimes, but not for these cakes. It's so expensive to make. You certainly don't want them to stick with you. So I do it the old time way. I take me a piece of napkin, get me some shortening, a Crisco, whatever you want to call it. And I go around in the pan because that's how Mama taught me to do it. Plus, they didn't have anything else but shortening and Crisco to put in it. So you just do it like that. I've already done 2 of them to save time. And then I just take me just a scoop of the flour and I throw it in here, shake it around, throw it in here. And I've got this second one ready. See how I'm just bouncing it around? Then I take it to this third one. See? Here we go. That's how I, what we call grease and flour my cake pan. Now I'm gonna run up here and just dump this out in the sink right quick. And one little whack and it's done. So here, more than likely, they won't stick if you do it like that. Now, I just eyeball it, fill up my pans. We had a men's bake-off one time at church, and the preacher won the bake-off. He got first place. Just because he made this particular recipe right here. All right. Now, I just kind of shake them around just a little bit, see if they're kind of level. Put them in the oven. Bakes for 25 minutes on 350. And boy, I mean, that's just about, that's the right time right there. It'll be perfect. All right, I think I'll stop right here and get my icing or my frosting ready, and then we'll finish out this red velvet cake. Okay, I don't know whether to call it the icing or the frosting, but I grew up calling it the icing. So here we go on my red velvet cake icing or frosting. It is just really 4 things, and I'll show them to you right here. 8-ounce cream cheese, a stick of margarine. These are at room temperature, softened. You can see I didn't get all the red off of my fingers. And my recipe says a box of confectionery sugar. Now you can't find a box anymore, but when you Google it, an old-timey box, which was a pound box, was 3.5 cups. So you're gonna need to put a stick of cream cheese, 8 ounces, a stick of margarine, and 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. Now I do sift my powdered sugar, so to save time, that's the things that I mixed up. And the only other thing I added was half a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. And of course we're going to put pecans on it here in a minute. But that's just how simple it is. It's called a standard cream cheese icing. I mean, people make this all the time for everything. So let's go over here to the table and see if we can get it iced. I've already put one up here, but you can see how I do is I just use old-time wax paper like Mother did, and she'd put them out on this to cool. She'd put another one on top of it, and sometimes because she'd cover them good with wax paper, she'd put some kind of a clean towel over it to hold the steam in or whatever till it cooled. But anyway, here I go with my icing. A lot of people don't like crushed pecans on theirs. So what I do is I don't put the pecans on this part. I just do the top and the sides. That way if they don't they want a piece of red velvet cake, but they're allergic to nuts or can't have any, then they can just, they'll still got 2 more layers that they can eat. They don't have them on there. All right, there's one. Peel right off of my, this is a cooled layer now. I had to give time for it to cool. And if you're in a hurry, you can always put these in the refrigerator, let them cool a little bit, or the freezer. And here I go with the second layer. Putting some on it. Love how this, and I just use the back of the spoon a lot of times just to get it like I want it. This starts slipping with us. We'll put it in the freezer or the refrigerator to let it set up a little bit to keep it from slipping and sliding. There's never a wrong way to do these things. But don't get worried if oh, mine fell everywhere. No, just stick it over into the freezer. Let it set up a little bit and carry on. Your cake will be just fine. All right, let's see. I'm reaching over myself here to get this one. I'm not used to filming this, but I did want to have it for anybody that wanted to see it. Oh, I think I put a little more. Can't ever have too much of this stuff right here. All right, this was a 3-layer. Some people just leave theirs like this and ice the top and don't do the sides, but my daughter is telling me that I'm taking up too much time on these talking, or that y'all won't watch a long video, so I'm trying to make it as quick as I can, but I won't tell you everything about it. Can you tell if I'm covering it on that side?
Mm-hmm. You are.
Lady? All right, good. Catch every little bit that's running out. And anyway, I can keep going on. I'll stop right here if you want me to and do some of the nuts. Will that help with the time? Huh? Right now I'm just covering it with nuts. I just kind of pour them out in my hand here. Finely crushed pecans. And see, I'm just throwing them on the side. They'll stick because of the luscious icing. I'm nearly all the way around this. This is how I do it. And then I put them on top. I got this old grinder right here. I don't know if you can still buy these or not, but it was my grandma's. Mama cooked, we called her. I still use this one. I bought the pecans, they was this size right here. That's kind of big for this cake. So this thing makes it real fine. Now, of course it looks kind of messy right now because I was real liberal with the nuts, but I just kind of go around them. Am I showing it all, lady, camera lady? Can you see a good shot of it? Now, if I was going to freeze this, I'd put it in my, what I call my Tupperware cake plates, because they freeze real good. But this is my red velvet cake, and I wanted you to see just how easy it is to make one. Preacher loves these cakes too. All my family does. They expect me to have a red velvet cake when we have a get-together. Now, if you got just a little wet cloth, you can go around and make a cake plate look really pretty, and it won't be near as messy as you think it's going to be. All right. Here's Miss Jones' red velvet cake. Thank you for tuning in to At Home with Miss Jones. I'm looking forward to doing some more cooking with y'all in the days ahead. I wish that you would like my At Home with Miss Jones channel. Give me your comments of ideas and things that you do that I could improve on. All righty. Thank you so much.